Hey, everybody. Hello, how are you? Hello and welcome to Penguin Live, where you have the best seat in the house for the best magic in the world. I'm your host, Dan Harlan. Thank you so much for supporting live magic. Now, the gentleman that we have with us is known for his clean, visual, and super slick handling of magic, mostly impromptu stuff, all sleight of hand, primarily card work, but he's also created many different organic effects with common items for television, and he's consulted behind the scenes on a lot of TV programs with guys that you recognize, like here in America, Copperfield, over in Japan, Cyril, in England, he consulted for Troy, and more. The list goes on and on. Now, he's really well known for all of this visual, sleight-of-hand magic, but he's also been creating some cool gimmick stuff, so you may get to see a different side of him that you've never seen before. So please join me in welcoming Patrick Kuhn! Hey,
hello,
Patrick, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Wow. Thanks everybody for coming tonight. Okay, so today I'm sharing a lot of different kind of stuff. You're going to see some impromptu visual magic. There's going to be some commercial magic, self-working, and some gimmick stuff too, which is kind of like a different side of me. And a lot of people kind of know me for doing really heavy sleight of hand stuff. So I'm going to start over with a classic effect. What I have here with me is two deck of cards. One is a physical deck of cards. Another one is invisible. In here, we have red cards and black cards. What's your name?
Dave.
Dave, can you just name one of the color? We're going to take them out from the box. Which one do you want to take out?
Black.
All the black cards. So we'll take all the black cards out. In the deck, the rest, we pour them out. We got hearts and diamonds. Can you name one for me? Hearts or diamonds?
Diamonds.
You want to change your mind? You want to keep the diamonds?
Keep the diamonds.
Okay, perfect. So in this deck, if I open them out, let's say, can you point to another person? Okay, what's your name?
Chris.
Chris, can you name a number for me between somewhere between 1 to 10?
9.
9. Is that a number that you like, or just you want to change your mind?
No.
And you said, what card do we have? You said diamond and 9. Combine them together, we create one playing card in the deck, correct? In this deck, there's one card that's reversed the other way around. Let me just show you. The 9 of diamonds. The best part is that card is actually the only red card in the deck. Okay, so this is my ungimmick version of the classic invisible deck. And I'm sure so many people have created or tried to perfect this trick impromptu. Now, when I started Magic, I love all the classic stuff, you know, Haunted deck, Rising card, Invisible deck, those are all classic stuff. And for me, you know, I really like sleight of hands, and I always try to find the best way to do it, you know. And this is, for me at least, is the closest thing to the impromptu, to the gimmick one, because a lot of times, sometimes we have a card reverse, they would have to name a card, you have to call the card and switch the card, and the timing is just never right. And for me, I want them to feel like a lot of people are involved. They get to name a suit, they name a color, they name a value, and then it's the only card reversed in the deck with a different back. So there's a little bit of setup in this deck, and if you can maybe get the top angle camera here so we can kind of see here, we actually have a bank of 16 cards. Okay, so as you can see, I only do red cards, so you only have to do really one equivocate in the beginning. I don't like equivocate, I'm not really great at it. But the first one is the only one you really need to do. So as you can see there, a mirror, you can see it goes from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, we don't even need a 9. Now the reason I only do 8, because when I ask someone to name a number between 1 to 10, and I usually say it like this. Can you just name a number for me between, let's say, I don't know, like 1 to 10, just name one. No one would ever say 1 or 10, you know, and you emphasize somewhere between 1 to 10. A deck of playing card actually has 13 cards in each suit, right? But I think by asking 1 to 10 is such a very common question. You know, we associate with 1 to 10. So every time I do this effect, people never ask, oh, how come I never get a choice to pick a jack or queen or kings, you know? So instead of 13, I have narrowed down to only 8 cards, which is 2 to 9. Okay? So actually, we do need a 9. So that goes like that. Now you have an option. Now since this effect, the card is already reversed in the deck, all you have to do is just displace them in the center of the deck. And that's the only really move that you have to do. And since the cards are already face up, you have an option to do them with a different back. Okay, so if you want to do this trick and to be able to go to next routine or any card effect, then obviously you don't have to use this because it's kind of hard to get out of it, you know. But since I'm doing this, I just want to share this presentation. So what I do, I take all the hearts, which I reverse them face up, going from 2 down to 9. I put them on top of the deck. One cover card goes on top like this. On the bottom, I do the other way around, where I have all the cards face down, one card as a cover card on the bottom. Okay, so all you have to memorize is the hearts on top, the diamonds are on the bottom. As I put the cards back into the deck, and I like to just open with a deck of cards like this, okay? So you talk about imaginary deck of cards, you have to do one equivoque, which I think is really fair, and the presentation works for it. So I say, I have the deck here, we got red cards and black cards. We're going to take only a group of cards out. Which one do you want? Can you name one for me?
Black.
They say black, you say, okay, we'll take the black one out, gone. In the box, we have all the red cards left. And from there is completely free choice. If they say red, perfect. Take all the red cards out. Over here, we got hearts and diamonds. Can you pick one for me? And this trick I like to do with maybe a few people. That way, I have a little bit of misdirection for me to do the move, because as I'm gathering all the answers from people. So let's say you name hearts. I know already that the hearts are on the top, right? So when you say hearts, as I start to carry on with the presentation, I simply open the box, take them out. I know I have all the hearts facing me now. Now, there's one move that you have to do, which is counting the card. And there's a couple ways to do it. The best way to do it is to do pinky count. And I know a lot of people don't really do pinky count, but I think it's one of the best moves that you should learn, is by ability to be able to count cards with your pinky. So based on the amount of number they say, let's say you say 2, the fact that I already have a cover card on top like this, when I count 2, 1, 2, that means that the card above my pinky is number 2. If they say 5, I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see the 5 is already on top of my pinky. So if you don't know this move, I would highly suggest learning this move. Another alternative way to do it is to use thumb count. By doing that, I'm sure we all have done this before, where we riffle on the pack like this, right? And you can actually count them for each card by just apply slight pressure, and you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's not that hard. The only disadvantage of a thumb count is that there's a lot of flashing in the front. So when you perform this, it would be better for you to kind of stand like this and just kind of count on your thumb. Or as you're maybe sitting on a table, count it upward like this, okay? When you count the card, let's say you get to the number 6, to transfer the break, what you do is that you just apply slight pressure on your thumb. You can see it kind of buckle up. And then your first finger just go in there. And now when I let go of my pinky, it opens to the back. So there's a lot of work to it, but it's easier to do. And I would still highly recommend doing the pinky count. Let's say they pick a second card. We'll make it really easy in this case. They said, so once you name hearts, I say go to another person. Can you name a number between, I don't know, let's say like 1 to 10. And what I normally like to do is that I would count maybe 3 cards ahead. And the 2 times that I did happens to be number 7, number 9. Number 9, which is the farthest one. So that took a while. So you can ask them more questions or just try to buy a little time for that. But usually I start with counting like 3 cards. That way when you say 9, I just do 6 more instead of going 0 to 9. That takes a long time. So once again, 2, I say name a number, and they say 2. So we have 2 and we have hearts. So that creates a 2 of hearts. As I'm asking this, what I'm doing right here is that I slightly push the card out to the side, okay? As you can see, the card is being side jogged. I'm pretty much kind of doing a 1 card slip pass. I'm not really doing like any reversal or anything super technical. That's why it's better to have a lot of people here as a little bit of misdirection. So as you can see here, the bottom packet, I sort of just move a little bit to the side, and my finger would just grab the card, and I just do that. So it's very simple. Let's name a different number. Can you name a number for me?
4.
4? So we have 4, we have red, and we have hearts. So that create a 4 of hearts, correct?
Yes.
Imagine that card. So in that action, I already did the moves, and then I recap. So once you do the move, I like to just really isolate this deck, make it really clean. Say 4 of hearts. Imagine that card. And from now on, you want them to feel like you're not doing anything, Toss the card. The fact that I'm doing this, usually, I like to show the back first. Now, if I was to do this with just a normal back, with all the back to be the same, I would like to reveal the card this way first to build a little bit of suspense. And what I'm doing here, since you already got kind of like 6 or 7 cards here, and on the bottom, you want to be careful when you're spreading the deck. You don't want to go like this because you don't want to flash all of this. So just do a block push off, and just go like this. Now, I've done this so many times for Magician, and people were actually fooled. They actually didn't know how I get the cards so fast and how I reverse the card. In fact, I already got them in there. But if you spread them very casually, it looks like, you can't see that 16 cards hidden from top and bottom. So in this case, I want to do kind of like a brainwave effect. So since the 4 of hearts is already facing up, I can't show the back because I want to save that for the kicker at the end, correct? So I would spread them like this. Show the 4 first, so you get the first reaction of the only that is the only card. Now, all you have to do is just turn that card over, and that's it. That's my variation on the invisible deck.
Now, Patrick, I have a question.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you have to go to the bottom block, is the side job
Yes.
procedure different?
Yes, it's actually exact same thing. I actually forgot to go through that. So if they do name diamonds, okay, so remember the hearts is on top. You said diamonds, right? I would pick up the deck in a different way. I would just pick it up like this, open it from the bottom side up. So right now, everything's the exact same thing except the cards are facing down. So they say 3, 1, 2, 3. So you get a break below. Third card, push over, grab this, and just, it doesn't have to be super clean as long as you can do this in motion, like this. And then the only difference here is that instead of going like this, because you're going to show the back first, we want to save that for the end. So you're going to do like this, in front of them, go very slowly, up drop the card, show the 3 of diamonds, and then reveal the back like this. Okay? So another way to get out of this, because I know a lot of people are going to have questions like, how do I get in and out of this effect? I'm going to take all the red cards out, that way we don't get them confused. And let me just grab some blue cards real quick. Okay, let's put the box away. Okay, so for example, let's say we got a few cards on top like this and a bunch of cards on the bottom. I'm going to pretend like we're doing a setup here. The best way to do it is to do this. So there's a lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to go very slowly. So to clean up, I hold a break on the bottom. I will swing cut everything on top, right? So basically my goal is try to bring all the face-up cards together so I could just turn them over at once, okay? So I hold a break, kind of like a bottom slip cut, like a halo cut. You cut everything on top. This, for me, is to get rid of that cover card. So get rid of the cover card. Now I need to get rid of this top card. So another way to do it is to get a break and put everything inside. As you can see, I don't know if you can pick up from the camera, you can actually see that block in the center. Okay, you can see that little block. If I just cut once to the natural break, sometimes I'll just do a Charlie A cut. You can cut the first one on the bottom, that goes on top. Second one goes on top, and then it's all reset. It's a lot of work. I honestly, I usually don't even do it, but there's an option for you. There's a lot of work going on, but I'm telling you, this trick is great.
There's also, I'll tell you, as an old timer, that I would use Harry Lorraine's out for reversed cards.
Yeah.
It's called the oops out. You familiar with it? You simply drop the deck. Yeah, it's a great out, you know.
Yeah,
As soon as you're done with the thing, you just drop the cards on the table. Oops, and some go some way, some go the other way, and you just gather them up, and it just seems, but that's nice work.
Yeah, sleight of hand is great. I mean, I started doing magic with. I love sleight of hand. I love all the move and all the hard move. You know, when I was starting magic, I had to learn every single move on the market. Everything comes out, I was like, I got to be able to do it, even though I don't even perform it or do it at all. You know, it's one of those things that I have to learn. And that's one reason I kind of come up with a lot of impromptu version of the classic effect. But as I kind of grow up, you know, you kind of realize what is useful in a real performance, right? Like, I can't be doing all this stuff all the time, but it's good, I think, to have a good sleight of hand background and to know something like this in case there's an impromptu situation that you want to do. This is great for like a borrowed deck too. So let's do another quick effect. Let's try this. So I have 2 kings. This might actually be better if you actually do it from the top. Okay, you see 2 kings here. I'm going to put 1 card in the middle. Right there. That's a prediction. I'm going to leave it right there between 2 kings. As I dribble like this, can you say stop for me? Can someone say stop? Right here. I'm going to show you the card. You can see the card. Everybody see the card? Perfect. Lose that card somewhere back into the deck. Now before we started, there's 1 card right there between 2 kings. It's actually a joker. The joker is known as a wild card, correct? In this case, the joker can actually becomes any card. I'm going to try to get this card and your card to switch places. So I think you said stop, maybe, I would say, but maybe about 20 cards down. I'm going to try to get this joker to go exactly at the 20th card. And try to get that card to come back between the 2 kings. It's going to happen really, really quick. Watch closely. A joker goes right there between 2 kings. Watch really. 1, 2. The jokers go right back in the center of the deck, exactly where you said stop. And your card is? The 9 of clubs. This is one of my favorite effects. This is called Inflict, and it's on my Petrified DVD. So to get it started, you just need a duplicate card, and I like to use Joker. And every deck of cards comes with, a lot of decks now have Jokers that look identical. And if you have a bicycle card, you can just replace them with a different card or just use a dupe, okay? So the setup for this is that you would need 1 Joker or 1 dupe to be reversed on the bottom, and then have 1 cover card on the bottom, like this, okay? And then 1 goes on top. Now, based on however you want to produce the card, you can do it more fancy, or you can just simply just put it down like this, okay? Whatever you want to do.
Do it more fancy again. Can I see that?
Let's try again.
Yeah. Well, because you hit it. You hit it. Oh man, come on now.
I'm Asian, so
How many hours and days and
you just eat a lot of rice that comes in naturally. You know? Okay, so
will you show us the move that you actually used the first time, the appearance?
Actually, that was just a bait.
It's a very simple thing.
I was actually going to do this one.
Yeah.
But then I changed my mind in the last second. But all I did, and honestly, this part is really not that necessary. It's a cool little thing that you can do. But I just do like a sandwich load. So basically, you take a break. So obviously, we have a joker on top. Take a king. You hold the break. So now we have a double of that 2 cards. And then you do a basic sandwich load. So you displace this double on top. And all you do is just add that little flick. I'm telling you, this little flick, people believe that I actually shoot cards out, so. That little sound, you know?
Yeah, now, for card magicians that have more time than sense, which is pretty much all of them, will you show us the toss?
Yeah. So, this little thing, I first saw, I think David Forrest had on his DVD. I'm not really sure who the credit is to. I think it might have been a Leonard Green thumb shot or something. Yeah, so basically what it is, you're going to hold a break on your pinky, and your thumb, basically you're going to just put a slight pressure and just kind of pivot the card to the top like this. I'm sure we have done this for rub-a-dub, you know, like this, or there's a lot of people, Eric Jones uses this move a lot to vanish a card or to add on or something like that. So essentially what's happening with that break, you're going to hold this card very loosely. And by just apply slight pressure and just flick your thumb up like this, basically cause that card to spin off your thumb. You're not putting a lot of pressure or anything at all. You want this to be very light, very loose. And the more you do it, you know, you can catch them. Let's see if I can catch this. Oh, one more time. I got this. There we go. So once you do this, the right hand, the grip, what I do is that I hold like this, and basically my first middle finger is touching on the card on the bottom, your thumb is touching this card. And I like to put my finger right between the two to create this little kind of like, if you try to hold like this, sometimes you notice like I cannot split the card. And I've seen people who would just shoot the card and they just wait like this and catch the card. It doesn't look good. So you want to try to minimize the motion. And I just do it very quick. And the more you do, the more accurate you can get this card. Oh, I almost can't see it this light. So you want to just open it slightly and catch the card in the middle. Okay? So honestly, this move is really not necessary. You can do it if you want to do it. Okay? So basically, you don't want them to see the card just yet. So the joker goes between two kings. On the bottom, like I said before, we have one joker reverse. Okay? Now, what I like about this part is that I'm going to do a pass, a control, but it actually accomplishes two different things. And I think that's important also when you try to construct a routine, is try to minimize all the unnecessary move. And before I used to, have a card selected to the bottom, palm to my right hand, transfer to the top, and then it goes to the bottom, cop it, and it goes to my pocket. It's like insane. So now, you want to simplify everything. So you have someone say stop about halfway, show the card, in this case, the ace of diamonds. You're going to just down drop the card by just dribbling on the back a little bit and then go forward to the top. As you can see, we have this little step here. You're going to push in and maintain the break. So right now I have my pinky break above the selection and I have that one face-up card on the bottom. Now if I was just to do a pass right now, okay, I'm just going to do it like this. It does two things. First of all, it centralizes the joker. Second of all, it brings the selection to the top. So it does two things for me. Okay, so I think that's really important. Once again, a card is selected. Oh, exact same one. And then hold the break. Now what I like to do, a pass, you can do, all the riffle pass or dribble pass. What I like to do is to just casually, just openly pass the deck, but continue the action of you cutting the card. So it looks something like this. So say the card, stop in the center, look at the card, perfect, we'll lose the card somewhere back into the deck and it can show us any card in the deck. So it's just very, very casual and it accomplishes two things at once. So all you do is just straight up pull up the bottom half out and then just continue the action of just dropping half, dropping another half and pick up the deck like this. Okay, so you want to continue the motion. So right now we have the joker in the center, we have the selection on top. So what are we doing now here? So if you can maybe get the top camera angle. So we're going to load this card. Essentially we're trying to get that card to be behind that king, okay? So you're holding a break and I take the king like this. What I do is I turn my right hand like this from here to here. Your thumb is going to take that joker and this hand is turning back like this to insert in the break. So once again, real quick, it goes, you take the king, reverse that card, that one goes right there into the break and pick up all three. So right now I've already loaded the selection between two kings. Now here's the move. First you need to get a break below the bottom card. There's a couple ways. You can either get a break now or you can do a thumb break to get them later. But with three cards, it should be pretty easy just to be able to pull that bottom card. Now you're going to take the joker, and here's a little kind of Paul Hare's bizarre, what is it called? The bizarre twist?
Yeah, bizarre.
Bizarre twist. He has something where it looks like he's putting in the center, but he's actually putting on the bottom. I'm actually going to do something very similar. So as you can see, if I pull down the king like this, you can see there, as soon as I pretend to put that joker in there, I'm going to let go of that king and goes right to the bottom. Okay, so you want to make them feel like that joker goes right to the bottom. Now if I have the break on the back like this, and you pull this down, put them in, it should look like the joker now is trapped between two kings. Now if my right hand grab this double, right now there's two things happening at the same time. Left hand, I'm just squaring up that card. Okay, my right hand, I'm going to curl my first finger with my thumb on top, and all you're doing is just shooting that card straight out. And this should happen at the same time as the card being pushed in. So when it happens two-handed, it looks like this. Now obviously this doesn't look good. You can see the card, the position of the card moved, right? The card shift to the right. So I'm going to show you one more time in real action. And this looks even better if doing face up, so let me just do it face up for you so you can just see this quickly. It's kind of hard to see, but watch the joker. So once again, the selection is on the bottom. So it goes like this, the joker. Pretend to put that face up. And I think the presentation actually makes sense. There's a couple reasons why I have this joker face up. First reason is that once I do the move, I'm completely clean. This card is, I can show the back right away. You know, the joker is hidden in the same way as the king. Second of all, I think it makes sense with the presentation as the two cards really transpose. One will be face up, the other one will be face down. So I think it makes perfect sense and also just help you in a lot cleaner, okay? So once again, to do the move, the key thing for this is to use your thumb as a guide. So your right hand, you want to try to practice just doing this. Put your thumb on top of your first finger, apply slight pressure, and just release like this. So that's just practice like this all day long. Applying the playing card on top, and it's gonna look like this, okay? So you want that, like when you're dancing, you're popping, you want that energy to go boom, boom, like this, you know? You don't want to do it slow. So at the same time, you're using your thumb. Now notice if I just do like this, you can see the card just move to the right. But with the thumb here, and you kind of push the card a little bit towards your thumb, it would help you align up that card. You see that? So just don't squeeze too tight. Just push in like this. You can see that card. So in slow motion, looks like that. Fast motion, it looks like this. Okay. So what I like to do here is that I don't show the card right away. So after the card changes to like this, I immediately, my right hand just grab the deck, spread them right away, show that the joker is exact same position as they say stop. Then I slowly just turn that card over and then end the trick. Now, with this effect, you can also do the card face up as well as a color change. So, exact same thing. Let's say you have two selection. Let's say we have a 2 and a queen. Okay, so both are controlled to the top. Let's say the first one you do any kind of sandwich production, card goes in the middle. Now, you can show the first one. So you should show the 2 of hearts. This one get loaded. So that you're already one step ahead, right? So as far as I'm concerned, you just found the first selection. You're going to take everything. Now, obviously, I can't do this. It doesn't really make sense, and you can do it if you want to have the 2 of hearts turn face down, and then it changes. I think it's a little confusing. So I think it's better to take your right hand, turn everything end for end like this. So now when you do the change, it should be face up to face up. So I take another 2, do the move, show the 2, execute the change. And then
yeah, and then the only drawback is you can't show clean.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah,
exactly. So with this version, obviously you can't do that. Or you can do this. So after you do the change, that one goes down. Since you already got the card reversed, that goes on top of the deck. Cut it once, boom, the 2 of hearts is now back in the center of the deck. So you get that little extra transposition, okay? So that's inflict. Let's take a little break. You guys want some M&M? Yeah. I don't have a lot, but I have one. Yeah. That's it. There's no trick to it. Okay. Let's try something. Who here has like a wallet, like a bifold wallet? Can you come up here? You can do something with your wallet. I won't make your money disappear, I promise.
My wife already did that.
Oh yeah? Tell me about it. Okay, so in here, let's not use your money. I'll just give you some cash here. Can you open inside? Is there a lot of money in there?
Actually, just a receipt.
Perfect. That's great. So I'll give you $21. Now, have you ever been pickpocketed before?
No.
No?
No.
Perfect. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration. Okay?
Okay.
Hold this. Take the bill and just show like this and just fold them in half. Perfect. And open the wallet where you normally put money in there. So I'm going to show you 2 different types of pickpocket. Okay? So we have a 20 and we have a 1. I'm going to put these 2, like, let's say, just put them like this inside. And you can see right there, that goes into this wallet. This is not a magic wallet, right?
No, no.
Okay.
I wish.
Yeah, hold your hand like this, put your hand on top. I want you to think of one of the bill for me. We have a 20 and I have a 1. So there's two different types. So there's the beginner one. So what they would do, they would come in like this and just take one of the bill out. Okay? So let's see. This is slow motion, by the way. So they would take the bill out like this, right? But there's a more advanced one. It's the one that's able to take the bill out, switch for something, put them right back. I'm going to show you that example. You think of a 1?
I was thinking 20.
Okay, so it's okay. It's okay. Watch closely at 1 and 20. I'm going to try to get them to switch places. Watch closely. 1, 2, 3. Turns into a $20 bill. If I have a 20 here, open your wallet. Should have
The 1.
a $1 bill. Just stay right here for a sec. We actually shot this last night. We actually went out to the arcade bar next door, and we actually want to show you some live performances. And let's just take a look at the footage real quick. Now, can I see your wallet? You have a wallet? Perfect. There's no, perfect. I'm gonna give you some money. Only for like a couple of seconds. Let's use these 2. Have you heard of pickpocket? Is there a lot of pickpocket here in Ohio?
I've never been, but
Yeah?
I'm always down for something new.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a technique. Okay, so can you take a 1? Just fold it in half, like this, so you can see both, and then just open the wallet where you normally put your wallet in. Perfect. I'm going to take a 1 and a 2. I'm going to show you there's 2 different types of pickpocketing. Okay, 1 is a good one. But
It's a good pickpocket.
Yeah, and there's 1 that is a better one. I'll show you the difference between the 2. Okay, so the good one is the one that's able to take something out without you feeling it. The better one is the one that would be able to take something out and switch for something and replace it back without you knowing it. Okay, so I'm going to try something with these 2. I'm going to put these here like this, just close like this. We got a 1 and a 20. Hold your hand like this, put your hand on top. Think of one of the bill for me. You've got a 1 and a 20. I want you to just think of one of the bill for me. Okay, perfect. This is in slow motion. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go inside like this. I'm going to take one bill that I think you're thinking of. This is pretty obvious. This is slow motion, by the way. This is slow motion. Put your hand on top. Think of a 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy was 50-50 choice. But the better one, this is just a very simple way of taking something out. The better one, like this. Watch. No, watch. Ready? Watch the 1. 1. If I have a $20 bill right here, open your wallet. Look inside.
Oh, I was hoping to have it. We could make a business now. Oh my God. Look at that.
Skills to steal the bills.
High five. Yeah, high five.
Dude.
Thank you.
Can I have that or? Dude.
Thank you. Okay. So this is it's an effect that I released last year. It's called extortion. And this is a lot more simplified version, and you can apply this with any currency. Now this effect is just my take on the classic transposition. I'm sure we all have seen a 5-to-1 or something like that with bill folded up, right? So my goal is I just want something that is a little more visual and that they can see the change right away. And the only problem is usually when you have, let's say you fold them into 1/8 and you put them into the hand, you can easily just turn them over like this and they can just hold in their fist, correct? You guys seen this? So the only problem with this is that I can't do, okay, so if I was to open the gimmick like this and I put 2 bills, say hold your hand, there's no way for me to do that without me flashing 2 $1 bill. I mean, sorry. I play around with the idea of having them put their hand like this and have them turn over. It's just really awkward. So my presentation with this, I came up with the idea of using the wallet. And I think it ties in perfectly with the pickpocket idea. So instead of a transpo, I think there's a little story that people can relate to. So on this bill, basically it's just simply half the bill. You can see it's just a basic flap. So you just take a $20 bill. I take 1, cut them in half, take another 20, cut them in half. Always keep the other half and use rubber cement, because anytime you're actually not losing your money. Anytime you don't want to do the effect, peel them out, tape them, and you can spend the money so you're actually not losing any money. So once you do that, I glue them like this and it creates a flap. There's a little something extra I added. I put a little magnets right there on the top, these 2 corners. This allows the bill to be held really cleanly. I could display like this without having to worry about the flap opening. Okay, so the only move I have to do is to really just open this flap. And what I did here is that on this little flap, I just trimmed it slightly, so it's a little bit shorter on the edge. So let me just kind of walk through the routine quickly. So you can borrow this if you want to, and I just borrow the wallet, and it makes sense for me that I'm giving you the money that I'm going to steal after. So I think it ties in perfectly with the pickpocket theme. So I give them a 1, that way they can kind of examine the bill. Take the 20, and the reason I'm doing this is that I want them to really see the 1 and they get to feel the bill before and after. So they fold it in half. Perfect. As I ask for the wallet, my finger would pretty much just try to separate that little piece, and you can see the magnet just open up. And you're gonna do this, if you're standing like this, you want to tilt the bill down a little bit, or just hold them very low and just kick that open. Okay, so I'll take a 1 and a 20. So as far as they're concerned, you can even display like this. It looks really clean. 1 and 20. What's great about a wallet is that it actually does all the move for you. Usually when you put something in your hand, you have to turn your hand like this and turn the hand upside down. And the wallet actually does everything for you, especially a bifold wallet. This is perfect. So I would take these 2 bills, make sure the gimmick bill with the 1 facing out is behind, okay? So these 2 get inserted. Excuse me? Yeah, I just have them on the bottom. So make sure the 1 is on top, a 20 is on the bottom. I take these 2. I simply just put them into the wallet. Don't push in too deep, because in a second you're going to try to kind of steal them out. And I think it's kind of funny because you kind of do it in slow motion and you always get that gag. So those 2 goes in. Check this out. Instead of doing any reversal, all you have to do is this. Right? So actually saving that little step. And the wallet is great, and I'll tell you why in a second. So hold your hand like this. Doesn't matter which one they name. You make a joke out of it. I go in. I can see the 1 on top, right? So you want to only take that 1 out without flashing the other one. So I would take this out. So you think of a 1, right? If they say 1, perfect, you take the credit for it. You say, yes, I got this, If they name a different one, you say, oh, it's okay, I will change it. And I think it's perfect for a pickpocket theme by saying that the more advanced one will be the one who's able to take something out and replace with something back to your wallet. The only move you really have to do, and make sure your angle is good, okay? So basically you have this flap, all you have to do is just push that down, okay? And obviously by just doing that, it doesn't look so good. So I like to kind of snap in front of it to hide, to give a little bit of cover, and also to mask the sound of the magnets. So I always frame it really nicely and make sure they can see the bill. Say 1, 2, my thumb goes down as I snap. 1, 2, like this. Right now, you're pretty clean. The magnet locks itself. I can immediately just open like this, display both sides. Make sure you're not backlit. So if you backlit, you're going to be able to see that the bill, one side is thinner than the other. So once I do this, another reason for the wallet is that there's so much misdirection. There's a lot of time for you to switch. Normally what I do is that I would have another $20 bill in my back pocket. I don't know if you see in the video, the guy was a little drunk, so he was all over the place, and I had to try to control and try to watch the change, because I don't want him to miss. That's like the most magical part, right? So I do that, show a 20, and I bill a lot and say, look, if I have a 20 here, only makes sense your wallet open right now. And so what I have here on my back pocket, I would have a $20 bill. Make sure they're full in the same way. My right hand just go in like this, and I pull the other one out. By the time they open this wallet, trying to take the bill, react, you're way ahead. I can immediately just give them a 20 to look at if they want to. So I don't know if you see in the video, but I actually did a switch there, and the guy could immediately examine the bill. So that's it. That's my simple variation on the classic extortion. Any question on that one?
There's a question. Yeah, we have a question here.
What size magnets did you?
What size are the magnets? That's the
The one I got was custom made. A friend of mine gave it to me, but they're very, very
May I
thin.
come up and just
Feel
them?
It's super thin.
They are super, super thin. So they're at the bottom here and there,
Yep, so
right?
there's four. One,
Yeah,
two.
I can barely feel them. Those seem to be like maybe a 64th of an inch.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
really super thin.
super thin.
Yeah. I don't know if something like that is like readily available, but you wouldn't have to use something quite that thin.
Yeah, it really does not matter.
Yeah. And the best place right now is I think it's K&J.
There's K&J magnets.
Yeah, it's probably the best
you can
place.
go there. Just try to find. They have the square magnets, which I actually have them in the bag. They're slightly thicker, but they work just fine. It might make a little more sound, but it doesn't matter. You always perform this outside. This help mask the sound, and any magnets would do.
Were you doing it for a while without the magnets? Did you do it that way before, or have you always used the magnets?
I've always used the magnets.
Okay.
I just love. I love magnets.
Yeah, right, sure. Who doesn't?
I think it's like one of the greatest things, and I think the fact that you can't do without the magnets too. It's totally up to you. For me, I think it does make a big difference by having a magnet, and to be able to start super clean. I could go like this. Don't have to worry about flashing. Get into it, come right back. It's just all self-contained. So I always have this in my wallet, so you can perform this anytime. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see something. Let's see. We have. Oh, that's my last piece. It's okay. M&M is about maybe $1 in a vending machine. Let's try this. I'll just buy a different one. So this is a fun little thing that I've been messing around with. This is based on Bizarro. I think it's called Breaking Bill. I think.
Bill breaker.
Bill breakers.
Yeah.
One of the most visual bill change.
Yeah.
And I've applied a little bit into a different presentation, and there's a lot of stuff going on to this little gimmick. Okay. So basically, the change basically is based on a classic flap, right? So as you can see here, we have M&M flap here. Imagine the same thing with the bill I just showed you, just more on a vertical side. So it goes from here to there. Now notice the corner. I don't know if you noticed the little subtlety with the corner missing. Usually how the change works is that you would come down and you would go like this to change the bill, right? I've added a lot of things in here. I have obviously add magnets onto it. It just makes the bill a lot thinner. Check this out. You can actually do this really openly. Watch the screen. Do that again. I'll do that again. This is great. See, I'm telling you, magnets are the best thing ever. Check this out. Oh, that was not so good. Let me try again. Super clean, right? So what I've done here, now the problem I have, I always want to do like candy to money or something. I think kind of makes sense in presentation. I've done this once in a video on YouTube where I would walk up to a vending machine, eating one last piece of M&M's, like, oh man, I wish I had another one. Turn them into a $1 bill, put them back to the vending machine, get another candy, and then I'll eat it and then walk out, you know. So that was a cool little funny thing I did. And the only problem now is that trying to make this look like 3D. Okay, obviously I can't, there's no way you can fly this trick making this bat look like it's full. And there's a lot of ideas that actually goes into it. Now the fact that I squeeze, if you can get a little close up, if I squeeze this, it creates like a 3D look to the bill. It doesn't look flat. If I was to hold the bill like this, that doesn't look like an M&M bag, correct? So if I was just to squeeze like this, see, can I create that little 3D? Now, another little thing, let me just pick this up. 5-second rule. So I have this finger palm. Now this is great if you want to do maybe as an opener or something for videos if you want to. I just have this on my finger palm like this. Okay? Right now it does kind of look like an M&M bag. And a little convincer now. The fact that it's my last piece gave a perfect excuse for me to turn that into a dollar bill instead of full bag, right? So all you do is just dropping that little piece into your hand. And it looks like it came from the bag, right? You can eat it. I'm not going to eat this one. And from now on, you say, you know what? Let me just get a new one. And then you execute the change. Now basically, this bill actually has a lot of magnets inside, which I'll show you in a second. So you're going to pretty much just peel this down. And your hand, just run this down like this. And you want to practice this because when you first do it, when you peel the gimmick down, you're going to notice that the bill starts to look really bad right here. So by angling it a little bit forward, it helped mask that. You can see the bill start to kind of just jump backward because it's being pulled. But once you pass the middle point, it's great. This, right here, you're clean. All you have to do is just pull it straight down. A little subtlety thing that I added was this corner missing piece. So what I did here on the back is I'll just glue the bill. I'll have the magnets on the edge, so they lock like this on both sides, right? Kind of like very similar to my other bill trick, except you're doing this way. So you can see the corner torn. What I did here is that I fold this bill backward. This one still got magnets in it, okay? And obviously there's no glue there. So once this one come down like this, my thumb would hit that bill, and it would lock with the flap right there. So you can watch. So not only are you actually transforming the candy, you actually restore the package too, which is, I think it's a nice little bonus effect. And you can milk that too, Yeah, so once again, the magnets position is that I don't have magnets here on top. I only have them on the flap and on the bottom here. Now, since I want this to be super clean and even be able to do like this really openly, what I do is that I would add magnets, extra magnets here on the side. So, because sometimes when you do this, the bill might buckle on the side and you don't want to show that. So, I just add a little extra 2 here and 2 here. So just to make sure everything looks nice and flat. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think it's good to maybe do a trick or something that involves M&M, passing around, maybe do some sort of mentalism, reading mind with the color, the M&M they picked and stuff, and then end with this. I think it's a cute little thing that you could add into your routine. So
yeah, and when you did the setup here, you have regular M&M's package with like 2 of them left in it or something. You give somebody one of them.
Yeah, so I just
kind of establish it.
Yeah, so I kind of did this a little bit. And I actually just went over to the gas station to get this. Maybe have like 1 or 2 of them in there. And I think it's kind of funny, let's say you're doing a show and you just start eating M&Ms like Pip the Magic Dragon. He'd like start eating sandwiches and banana and stuff. You could do a similar thing, just do M&M, pour it out. So the fact that you kind of use M&M throughout the show, they're believe that this is the real thing. And then when you take out the gimmick one, it's like a nice little kicker. Okay. That's it. Any questions? All right, let's do a little bit more card stuff. and I'm going to need one person. Can you help me out? Perfect. Let's try something here. So I have a deck of cards here. You can see all the cards are all different. I want you just to select, touch maybe like 5 cards. Like a poker hand. Do you gamble?
Yep.
You do?
Yeah.
What game do you play?
Poker.
Poker, perfect. I actually don't gamble, but I'm actually from Las Vegas, so kind of ironic. So just touch maybe like 5 cards.
Like that.
That's 1,
That.
2,
That.
3,
And that.
4, and one last one.
And that.
5. So we're gonna see kind of how well you did.
Okay.
Do you usually have good luck in playing?
Actually, I do.
You do? So let's take a look here. We're missing another card or something. Yeah. So we have 5 cards. We have a joker, 2, ace, 5, and 6. How do you think of the hands?
Not a real good hand.
If you can maybe keep 1 card. I'm gonna switch the other 4. Keep 1
Okay.
card. Which one do you want?
I'd keep the ace.
Keep the ace. So we'll leave the ace like this. So these cards are no good.
Yeah.
As a magician, I'm gonna do something a little bit different with these 4. So we have a joker, 2, 5, and a 6. Watch closely. 6 diamonds, 5, 2, and a joker. Now in gambling, I'm gonna try to change this maybe into a much better hand. I'm gonna leave 1 face up, that way you can see both front and the back.
Okay.
Watch closely. If you can zoom in real quick, watch the joker. It magically turned into
Oh yeah,
a royal flush. That's a pretty good hand, right? Yeah.
That's a real
Okay. Good.
good- Yeah. Very, very good hand.
Now I'm gonna tell you how I did this.
Okay.
I cheat,
I kind of figured that one.
and I used marked cards.
Mark card.
Yeah, not these ones. I actually used something a little bit different. These are actually 1, 2, 3, all 4 red cards. I know you thought that was pretty good,
Yeah.
but that card on the table is actually the only red card as well. So you can take a look. And that's actually me on the card.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is more of like a lengthy routine. I'm going to show you the basic trick. First, the basic change of this. Okay, so let me just, you can have a seat now. Thank you. Thank you for your help. Let me just set this up real quick. And this trick is called Morph. And I think it's probably one of the most popular trick on my DVD. And I get tagged on Instagram every day. So I'm going to show you what the change looks like with just 4 cards, okay? So if you can look, we have an ace. Let's say we have a 2 of diamonds, ace of spades, 3 of clubs, 10 of clubs. Let's turn them face down. Actually, I'll leave 1 face up. You can see it. Watch the 2. 1, 2. And they just turn into 4 of a kind. So this is the basic trick and the basic move for this. And this was actually inspired from my other trick called inflict, except this one is done very slowly, whereas the first one is like really quick action. And the reason for this trick that is called morph is that it happens very, very slowly. I'll do it again. Let me just try that one more time. I'm going to do this very slowly. Okay, so here's a little setup. So to do this, you're going to need 1 card face up. You have 3 cards, go face down on top. Any 4 card could be taken from the deck, doesn't matter. And then you want to get a break below the 4th card, which is the king of spades. Okay, so here's the setup. You're going to take the first card, it adds on to that packet. So now you have 5 cards. The second card, you want to down jog it slightly. 3rd card and the 4th card. So make sure you have a down jog there. When you turn over the packet, you want to make sure you align that 3 of hearts, that card that's down jog, to the edge of the deck. So I usually just move a little bit forward and then turn everything down. Now that little step allows you to be able to pick up everything above that card. You want to discard all this. So you're going to pick up everything. At the same time, you push that in. So that's the switch. Okay. So let me do that one more time. Basically, the goal here is to switch for all these 4 cards and add in 1 indifferent card that we had before. So once again, 1 card face up, 3 cards goes on top, hold the break, You're going to peel out 3 of hearts, down jaw the second card. The rest could go like this, and do a turnover like this. Make sure that card aligns itself to the back. Take everything and just push everything forward, flush back into the deck. So as far as you're concerned, when you do the switch, it should look like you just turn over, pick up the packet, and you can kind of flash that card one more time. And say, you know what, I'll make this even easier. I'll turn that card face up so you can see it, the front and the back at the same time. There's a lot of discrepancy here. The card's supposed to be turned face down, but when you do the change, it looks really good as if, you know, the card just turns into a king. So I never had people say, well, the cards were face down before, and now they're turning face up. They changed it to a king, you know. So what's happening here is that you're going to get the exact same setup. You want to have a pinky break on that bottom card. It's the exact same position we had before, except this time we're not doing it quick. If I was to do the same thing as we did before, it looks like that, and that doesn't look good. So your right hand, you're not going to push this in right away, and basically you're going to reverse the spread. So your right hand, you're holding the three cards. You're going to reverse spread the cards, and you don't push in the 3 until the king covers the 3. So you want to cover it first, push in, and now you want to spread them on a side and slowly turn that over. So once again, spread upward, push in, spread it on the side. I've seen a lot of time people would just do like this, you know. They would go like this, and ideally you want to do them very slowly as if the cards just morph. Let me try to get a good angle. You know, very soft and very light. So just kind of practice, make sure to cover the 3 before you push in, and just kind of go in like a clockwise action on your right hand. So it goes up and then you spread them. You want this really nice clean display of the cards. Okay? So that's the basic move for morph. Okay? So for this routine, it's a little complicated, but I think there's a lot of presentation and room for you to add on something, and there's a little bit of setup. So I'm gonna kind of show you this quickly. Okay? So for the setup, you're going to need 2 decks, and you're going to need a certain cards from one deck. So let's say these are blue and these are red. Okay? On the red deck, you're going to take out everything like a royal flush hand. So Jack, Queen, King, and then the 10 of spade has to be the blue one. So the blue one goes on top. So that's the first setup. Blue on the 10 of spade, and the rest, Jack, Queen, King, on the red cards. That goes on top. On the bottom, I do a packet switch. So I just find like the lowest card in the deck. So we have a 2, a 4, let's say another 2, and a 3. Basically, you want the ace to kind of stand out, and you want them to just pick that card themselves because it's the only card that is good in that hand, right? So basically, you're forcing them to pick that card, which allows you to do that little extra kicker at the end. So I centralize that ace, which is the only red card on that hand, and I put them in the middle, just so that it's not obvious, I guess, on the front and bottom. So that goes face down like this onto the bottom. When you start a trick, you're going to have a break above 5 cards, and you have them just touch 5 different cards. Doesn't matter, because you're going to switch them anyways. So this is great for if you do a lot of gambling style magic. This is perfect. You're going to do a Vernon strip out switch. So once you up drop all 5 cards, I side drop like this. And as you're talking, basically on that 5 cards on the bottom, you're going to add on right to the bottom like this. Okay, take everything out and maintain a break. So right now I'm holding 10 cards. And as you're tabling the deck down, you're going to just pick up these, and it goes straight to the table. Now the fact that I've put the red card in the center, it also helps me in case I accidentally spread out the card and prematurely flash the red card. So let me just go through the switch real quick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can talk about luck, gambling, blah, blah, blah. Take out the switch, tabling the deck. Now what I like to do, I just immediately just spread out the hands and ask them about the hand and what they think it is, you know, and have them select if they could keep maybe 1 card, and we're going to switch the other 4 cards. So obviously they're going to go for the ace because that's the only high card in that hand. So that card is being drawn out. The rest is no good. And this is a nice little convincer. so far they have seen everything is blue, 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 blue. Even this hand, you know, for them trying to retract this back, they pick the card themselves. You immediately show these cards, just casually flash these, they see all blue. It's a good convincer. On your left hand, you're going to get a break below 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a break below the king. If you can't do pinky count, just do thumb count. Don't do this. So get a break. Now, the switch on this one is going to be slightly different. So you're going to pick up everything. So I just put 4 cards on top. Obviously, I can't do the exact same switch as we taught before because you cannot flash the color on the back. So you're going to pick up those 8 cards, and I like to turn them over like this with the packet. Now, a lot of people do this move, they do on top of the deck. Or maybe like they do like this. So you would turn them over, show on the bottom. What is this move called, Dan?
That is
Atfis?
the Atfis, yeah.
Atfis,
Alternate
yeah.
face-up switch, yeah.
Yeah, so this is just a little variation that you could do. So I just updraw the card as I turn them over. Also, convincing them to see more blue. Blue, blue, blue. On the last card, as if I'm just stripping out the 4, basically 2 things happening at once. My finger will just push the packet flush to the deck. At the same time, I steal off the 4 of clubs. So it looks like this. Okay? And I leave that card face up. At this point, I can actually just flash like this one more time if you want to. Don't overdo it, but it's something you can do. Make sure not to see flash too deep in there. You can see a red card. So you can see a 4, you can flash like this, get a break, execute the change as we taught before. Now it turns into a royal flush hand, which should get a first reaction from people. Now this is great because they see everything blue from there, even including that 10. And here's an extra little kicker there. All you do now, you're going to take the top 3 cards, which will be 1 blue and 2 red. All you have to do is just do 1 cut. You cut once, and you talk about mark cards. Turn over the pack. Now just execute an MC count. So you can show red, 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 red. That goes down right there. Wait for the reaction. Now for the last kicker, you said that ace actually has been switched in the deck as well when you're not looking. And then just show the back of the card. Yeah. I know this routine is a little lengthy, but I think it's good if you, let's say you do a show or you kind of have like gambling style of magic that you do. Another little thing that you can add on to this is that since they never actually get to see the cards, what you can do is to use all blank cards. And what I like to do is that every blank card, you're going to say marked, 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 you know. So at the end, you get like, there's so many punch into this routine. First, you know, they pick a card, their card turns to red, you know, their hand turns to royal flush, those turn to red. So the whole deck is marked, not the back only, but also the front. Now you spread the whole thing, you know, you get all the card that says marked. So there you go, that's Morph. Okay, so let's put this away. So I know so far there's a lot of technical stuff, so I'm going to do something very easy. It's probably the easiest trick I've ever invented, actually. So I need someone that could lend me a $1 bill. Perfect. Awesome. Can you help me out? What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. Okay, so let's see. How long you been in Magic?
A while. My mom
A while?
plays Magic, so
Really?
yeah, since I
That's
was a
amazing.
kid.
That's amazing. Let's try something. This is gonna be a bet. Okay?
Okay.
Have you seen a trick where you cut 4 different packets and you cut to 4 aces?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you do the same thing. Actually, let's pick anyone here and have them come up here. They're gonna do the work for you. What's your name?
Scott.
Scott, nice to meet you. You do a lot of card stuff?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. Have you cut to 4 aces before?
Probably.
Okay. So if this trick doesn't work, you get to keep
My fault.
his money.
Oh.
That's how it works. That's why I don't use my money. So in this deck, as I riffle like this, anytime you want, please say stop for me, okay?
Stop.
Right here.
Sure.
Can you cut about half? Just estimate.
Alright.
Up to you. That's really close. Can you cut maybe another half from my hand to the table? Let's see. 4 different packets. Feel good?
Feel good.
Let's see what we have here. Wait. Go 1 ace! Yay! So I guess you get to keep $1. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, here we have 4, 3. You got 1 ace though. Does that mean anything to you?
Just luck.
Just luck, right? And I borrow $1 bill from you.
Right.
Actually, it actually means something here. If you look on the last 4 digit on the bill, it actually says 9431, which is the ace. There you go. Thank you very much.
Good.
Okay, so to do this effect, obviously you can do this with 4 of a kind, and you can have them cut to 4 aces and 4 kings. So let me do that one more time. And this time, this is just another presentation that you can do. So it looks like they would cut to the 4 aces, and at the end actually is the last 4 numbers on the 0 bill, okay, that you borrowed. So let me just do the basic version of this. So just say stop for me.
Stop.
Right here, and just cut it in half for me, and cut half from here, from my hand down. Perfect. 4 different packet.
4 back.
4 kings. 1, 2, 3. Turn that one over. Hey! Okay. This trick is very simple. Here's your dollar bill. You can have a seat. I'm gonna have you up here for a second. I'm gonna have you do this. Now, this effect is called do-it-yourself aces because it's very easy and they do the aces for you. So in this case, we're going to use the king just for explanation purposes. This is based on a very old classic 4 ace cut that looks like this. I'm sure you've seen this before.
Yeah.
Yep, you've seen that before, right? It's the exact same trick, except I choreograph it a little bit differently and to make them feel like the magic happens into your hand. Okay. So what you do, very easy, get any 4 of a kind that you want on top of the deck. You're going to flip cut 2 cards. 1, 2. So right now I have 2 kings on one packet, another 2 kings on another packet. Execute a riffle force, so you say stop.
Stop.
Right here, doesn't matter where they say stop. Now, the choreograph on my hands is really, really important. Okay, so I cut like this, and I usually put it, imagine you have 4 packet here. The first packet you want to put on a second position on that space. So you're going to put it right there. So I say, can you cut that packet in half? And what I like to do is I use my hand to mime the action of me doing this. Every time you do this, people will just follow you because it's important to get that line for you to do the move at the end. Okay, so I go cut about half.
Okay.
So they would do that. I purposely hold this deck in my hand. I don't put it down for a reason. I'll show you why. Cut half and put it down there.
Okay.
Perfect. So right now you get this beautiful look of 4 cards. Technically, they only cut maybe twice. The first one was a riffle force, and the last one was already in my hand. But I think when they try to think about this trick, they feel like they cut to 4 aces. So right now, what happens is that you have 2 kings on one packet and 2 kings on one packet. The idea of this trick is that you want to displace 1 king here and 1 king there, right? Without them feeling like you're doing that. So here's how it works. My right hand, and I have it laid out like this, my right hand and my left hand are doing the steal at the same time. So my left hand would simply just turn face down, picking up this card as my right hand picking up this card. So make sure, I usually go with my right hand first. You go in like this and pick like this. So now as I pick up, I make it a big motion so that when I drop the card into a different packet, they don't remember that. So it's like a little time misdirection. So go like this, boom. Wow, you picked the 2 kings. As you can see here on my left hand, for some reason it looks like I just turned that card over from that packet. In fact, it's being stolen from this hand. So once again, boom, like this. When I just lay down, as you can see, as I shift my body backward, so from the front, I'm picking first one and third packet. As I relax, it becomes second and fourth. I simply just drop like this. And now you're completely clean. This packet, I can simply just turn it over. The last one I like to have them turn over. That's it. Thank you. Any question for that trick? With the serial number, if you want to do it, basically you can either switch the bill and have the card already set up, or you can have a deck shuffle and just glimpse at the four digit on the bill, and then simply just call the cards to the top and do the trick.
Yeah, which is what you did here. You just
Yeah.
you sight read those last four
Yep.
digits, and just as you're talking to them, you call what's necessary. Now, when you call them, are you calling them in order? Does that matter to you?
For me, it doesn't matter. I go for the quickest one. You know,
Yeah.
any 9, any 2, any 8, any 3, I'll get them to the top.
Right.
Because at the end, when you cut like this,
Yeah, then you can lay them out.
you're like, does that mean anything to you? And it was kind of good that he actually got one of the 8s, which is kind of funny in a way. So I said, does it mean anything to you? As I take them out, I lay them out. So at the end, I could show the bill, and it matched. When you read it, it matched perfectly. You get that nice little display.
Yeah.
Another quick presentation that I used to do, and this is great too, is that I would set up like this. So I would have all the 3. So I have ace, diamonds, 2 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds. Okay, so these goes like that. The rest goes on top. So there's a little bit more set up, but I think the last ace makes a big difference. So 3 aces, 3, 2, 1. And that goes on top. The same thing. You do the same move. So say stop, boom, cut, 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 boom. Show 1, 2, 3. And the last ace is the ace of diamonds. You're like, wait a second. And then you kind of act like it's a mistake or something. It's a 3. Actually, 3 of diamonds is actually an indicator card. And you always kind of get a little laugh. Say, no, look, 3 of diamonds, 2 of diamonds, and ace of diamonds. So that's a nice little kicker at the end, you know. So if you want to use this, you can. Okay, so that's it. That's a do-it-yourself aces. Let me try something a little bit different here. Can I have someone? Let's see. Can you help me out? What's your name?
Jack.
Jack.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Come on this side. Pen here. As a riffle like this, just say stop anywhere you like.
Stop.
Right here. Can you just take a look at the card? What card do you have? 4 of hearts. Good card. Let's try something. Do you like puzzle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you fold the bill in half? Make sure the 4 is facing outward. So just fold in half. Very nice. Perfect. And let's see. Neatness counts. So let's try something. Can you take the pen? I'm gonna have you sign this real quick, and we'll put this away. I want you to just initial on the bill on the 4 real quick. Just initial your name. I'm gonna create a puzzle for you, kind of like an origami. Do you like origami?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something very impossible with this card. If I just tear it like this. Okay. Let's see, right there. Does that look like anything?
No.
Not too much, right? But if you watch closely, if I just open this up, you create this impossible hyper card. And you can keep this as a souvenir.
Nice. Nice.
Actually, come back. Let me just have that card real quick. So this is actually a single card. Now, I'm sure we all have seen HyperCard.
Yep.
I've specifically designed this card with my playing card. This is my Mirage playing cards. And I actually did include one of these inside. And I always like puzzle or a souvenir display, impossible object. Like that's the whole thing with the deck. And I kind of came up with this little trick that you can use with this. Now, a lot of time with HyperCard, you use a double backer. A lot of time you cannot pick the card up. You can't examine the card because the other side is the same, you know. So with this, the card is printed mismade like this, right? That way, when I give this to you, you sign the card when you try to retract this. There's no way, there's no possible way of you trying to put this back. And I think there's a lot of psychology that goes into this effect as well, is that first they get to feel the 4 of hearts first. So they know what it looks like normally. And when they see it in this form, even though the only way that they can put them back is this way, it still won't make sense to them. So let me just grab some new ones. And if you do a lot of card splitting and stuff, you're more than welcome just to make this up but I have the card printed already like this. So that's what it comes with the deck. The way I had this set up is that I would tear this instead of cutting, because you want that tear, it just feels more organic instead of a precise cut with a pair of scissors. And of course, no one carries a pair of scissors with them anywhere. So you tear them like this along the line, and I fold them like this. This is a Michael Weber idea too. He has something very similar, and it kind of suggests this really nice revelation of opening like this. You know, kind of feels kind of magical, and you see that really cool display, and people get that right away. You know, so what happens here is that I would fold like this, and obviously I prep the tear because you don't want to do it live. You want that tear to be nice and clean at the end. So this card is prepped and set underneath the deck. So see here, I have another card there. So you simply just force a 4 of hearts, or the matching card. You force the card, you ask them to fold it in half. Usually, one thing I forgot to do is I normally have my Sharpie in my back pocket. So as I reach for my pen, something, you switch underneath the deck. As you drop the deck, at the same time, take out a Sharpie. Kind of give you a reason why you go back to your back pocket. Take the pen, I ask them to initial on the card, and also to make sure you hide that little tear. So put my thumb on top, they sign like this, perfect. I say, I want you to make something possible with this playing card. I want to give it to you as a souvenir. You just act like you're tearing the card. The way this card is designed, check this out. If I was really to tear this 4 of hearts the same way, it looks exactly the same. Okay, so if I was just to tear this down, this looks normal. You would see this white part, which is perfect with this gaff because you're actually seeing this. It's a really nice convincer. On the back, obviously, is different. That's the only section you can actually tear. So I go like this, tear it down like this, and all you have to do is ask them to open their hands. There's a big discrepancy here. Obviously, if I just tear like this, and I open this card, it doesn't really do that. But you kind of want to build that as a magic moment on there, so it doesn't matter. When you tear like this, ask them to open their hand, make a magic gesture or whatever, you open like this. Now I let this sit on their hand. You don't even say anything, just have them look at the card, and the longer they look at it, the more impossible it is. So that's my take on the classic hyper card. Now talking about souvenir, I like to most of my magic now that I create, I like to do something that is unique and to have them remember you by. So a lot of my new tricks that I'm going to show you later today use a lot of kind of like impossible souvenir things. So let's take a little break from the cards. Let's do something with some ring stuff. So we're going to show you some quick video that we did with the ring trick. We went out to the bar last night, and yeah, let's kind of see how that goes. So check it out.